Hello, welcome back. This is Charlie. We're on our next signature, which is going to be signature 4. It'll be going right here. And we'll only have one left to go. And this is what I've got kind of sorted out. I've just got this in here because I'm doing a tuck. So this is what I selected for my base page. I just love this. I just think it's it's different, it's cool, it's a nice little collage. The reverse side has the suitcase down here. So this is what I'm using as this side here. And I was playing around, and I am not gonna cover this. I have a piece of the green cardstock, and I fussy cut out the boots and some pumpkins and gourds, and I'm going to be placing them in here like so. And then I have this big gold leaf I wanted to put back in here someplace. There we go. So I'm not covering this. I think it's just very beautiful just the way that it is. If you want to cover it, you've got plenty of scraps to do so, but I'm just going to leave it just plain. I am going to go ahead and get some tape on this and get this set to play. Oh, and what I did do is I did ink across the top of this a little bit. And we'll get this set, and then you only have one to go. Oh, I should give you the measurement on this. It's not very tall. I didn't create a deep tuck, just something where you can put some things into. But this is measuring at 1 3/4 inches, and this base page is still measuring just like the others at 8 3/4 by 7 7/8. So we'll take this stuff off, and we'll get this installed. Like I said, you can cover this if you want, but I'm just going to leave it blank. I like it just the way that it is. Okay, let's kind of center these again. Taking the dried glue off the top of my glue bottle, so I apologize. All right, so I got to make sure that where I'm putting this. So I'm going to go just below this leaf here and run a bead of glue. And I'll just center this. And then I'm going to, oh, I think I kind of wanted to put that last. Uh-oh, hold on here. Let's see if I can get this lifted just a little bit. I wasn't thinking right there. I apologize. But I'm, to be honest, in quite a bit of pain today. And it messes with my thinking. Okay, I'm just going to kind of topsy-turvy this over a little bit so it, oh shoot. Well, I guess that answered that question. I'll still try and tuck it in behind there. I kind of have to be careful with this one because this floral drops so low, this kind of needs to set up a bit high. Wow, I'm just really not thinking my pattern out here very well. Slide that underneath there. Put a tap of glue on that one. And then I have just this one little, oh, I have these two cards. I have this one, which I can easily put on the front. That's, it's got a gold leaf attached to it. So that's easy. And then my little tiny gourd, I'm just going to go ahead and set him next to this down here. There we go. Now, when you go to tuck things in behind this, you kind of want to be mindful you've got these stems and this. If you wanted to, it's a bit of a challenge, it can be, is to run some cardstock up underneath these, kind of firm them up a little bit, but trying to cut in and around that curve. This one and this one would be fairly easy. You could also do it to the back of this, but I am just going to be confident that people will understand that you come in behind and you tuck like this. All right? So let's get with our flap measurements. And we'll get them installed so we can place the magnet. So our left side flap is going to be at 5 inches. And you're going to have a 1/2 inch score and then a 5/8 of an inch score. And you're going to come right up to that 1/2 inch score line. Push back just a little bit. Remind it that it has a function. And then let's deal with the right-handed one because it's also our pocket. And on the last video, I forgot to give you the measurements or even show you that this was cut, but it has remained the same, which is your 8 1/4, whoops, 8 1/4 in your length, and then the width is just going to be dependent upon, now this one is going to be right at 4 5/8, excuse me, 4 7/8. It's going to be, the depth is going to be controlled by the pressure that the tape creates here on this end, because it will, even though I'm using an 1/8 of an inch in tape, it's going to pick up some pressure just about a pinch of a thumb in, and then that's kind of where I want this to stop. So it works out perfect because I just felt it kind of go in there. So on the previous one, you made the pocket 8 1/4 in your length, and then your depth will just be kind of controlled by, well, you really, because I go by pinch of my thumb, but you might want this to hang out there a ways. So you've got total construction control over that. So this piece is going to be at 5 3/4 with a 1/2 inch score and then a 5/8 of an inch score. And I didn't burnish that. And then this piece, which helps to create the pocket, is going to be at 5 1/8, and then it's going to be 9 3/4 in your length. You're going to score it at a 1/2 at both ends. Tuck them under. That's where you're going to put your tape. And if you're rounding your corners, you should round them so that it matches the round here. So I am going to turn this sideways. It's going to be easier for me to see rounding the two corners, and then whoops. Oh. Come on, Charlie. Oh. And I do want to cut these off. It makes it easier when you're trying to slide in your pull-out. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and mount this, and just like before, we're going to come right up to that 1/2 inch score line. Push back, reinforce. Okay, right now is where we want to start thinking about placing the magnet, and to do that we need to put the extra flap that's going to be over here on the left-hand side this time. And I didn't put any tape. Okay, so this is going to measure at 6, where did I do that? At 6 3/4. Oops, sorry, I was kind of confused there. 6 3/4 by 6 1/8. And then we're going to center this. And remember, this gusset that you're creating is going to need to wrap squarely around this gusset. So I'm going to kind of eyeball, get my height and my depth here. I'm not going to worry about fussy measuring here. So now I don't know if you can see this or not, but this bold line right here is the 5/8 score line. So for this to work, when I wrapped it around, it placed it perfectly. So now this just comes over and you press it down. This is your 1/2 inch score right here. And then here is your 5/8 score. So just nice and snug. Magnets. Ooh, that was all the magnets clanking. All right, so we're going to place it here. Just any old scrap of paper, let that find its place. piece of tape over this. And then I don't want this to be collapsing, so I'm going to hold here, give it a nice little snug, pull it forward. And there we go. Okay, so let's sneak back into the inside. And out of your 12 by 12s, this was the pattern that I took. These two cuts are coming off of the same 12 by 12 sheet. I wanted this leafy upper part. So there's about an inch in here that got cut off because I was really playing into coming in from this way so that the leaf was extending across. So that's what I cut up there. And again, they're just kind of cut to fit. And then once I got these all set, I'm making a tuck here. So I'm using some of that brown, some of that brown wood trim. I'm going to come in here, and then I went back to the floral, and I cut out golden colored floral this time, and they're going to go here. And then we're going to come in over here, and this was the other golden floral. So I think this is supposed to lay this way, and this is going to lay this way. So I'm going to start over here because it simply can be glued on this side. So I don't mistake this for scrap, I'm going to slide that in there. And again, I'm using these, what they look like little pull tags. They're out of the 8x8 collection. There are bigger ones than the 12 by 12, but I wanted to use. Well, that's odd. I've got to. I must have pressed that up against something because it smunched the edges up right there. All right. Now I'm going to put some thin strip of tape on the back side of this, down the center. And this is an inch, I do believe, or an inch and a quarter. Inch and a quarter. And then this was trimmed to fit, so it just trims in there. I might take a little, yeah, I'm going to take a little bit off because it's not even square, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to make sure that's even here on the board. Re-ink the edge. Okay, so I do this every single time. I really would like to have this centered. So if this is 8 3, so 4, 3 8. So this is going to be kind of my center right here. And have it come right to the edge and make sure that's level. Looks a little high on one end. Well, that's better. And then I'm just going to roughly center this. I'm going to kind of curl up some of these leaves just a little bit. Okay. And now we'll go over here and we'll do this side, except I'm going to have to, oh no, I get to glue this one. It's the next piece here that I'll be taping down. I had a cutting mistake, so I had to merge it back on there. But when you turn it over, you don't even notice it. No, you won't notice it when I'm done. Crying out loud. So I'm going to set this. So I'm going to start this over again, and I'm going to pay attention to my bottom corner here so that I get it lined up, because once I do that, then the rest of it should line up just fine. Okay. kind of like to have these line up about the same. All right, so there's our inside. So now we'll start to work on our outside panels, and we're going to play with the reverse side that has the bird cage. So this piece, but this side, or I should say this piece and this side, out of your 12 by 12 pack. And then we're going to line up those 1/2 inch wood strips to frame this in. I'm sorry, this is out of your 8 by 8. I apologize. Okay, bring this to me just a little bit. I'm going to put this one in first. This is going to run about 1/16 of an inch in from the edge. And then this is going to line up here. And again, we're going to come down about 1/16 of an inch. All right, and then we're going to tape this one on. And at this point, I do believe you have very little, if any, of that original sheet of paper. We've cut pretty much all the way through it. I think that's the only piece I have left. This side, which is the opposite of this. This was up here on this like so. And I'm going to follow the same pattern by laying the longest strip first. Just coming in about 1/16 of an inch. At least that's what I'm doing. You might be framing it differently. Then we're going to come down about 1/16. And then we're going to do the same down here, about 1/16. And now we're going to glue this on. Then that's going to close. Now we're going to work on the reverse side of this. Now this was in my scraps, this piece, so I'm going to tape this on. And I didn't cut into any of this. I'm just going to cover up about a 1/2 inch across the bottom. I'm just going to center this. I've got about 1/16 of an inch of an edge. And then also from my scraps, I found this piece. And I'm just going to tape this in place on 3 sides. And I'm going to line right here at the edge and just in front of that raised bump from the SCOR line. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I am so sorry. This ended up measuring in at 2 3/4 inches. And then I just simply trim to fit this piece here. Now the front. I'm playing with this card, but I'm playing with it on this side. As I have been, I'm turning them over. I'm going to glue this piece down. And then I am going to frame this. It was this card. I just simply turned it over. Again, if you're making this for a specific situation and you want to use these sides, go ahead. This is going to go on my Etsy site to be sold, so I don't know what someone else's sentiment is going to be. So I can't kind of predetermine. I've got to leave mine open so that the person that buys it can put in the sentiments that they want, because when I finish an album, if I've got papers left over, I do my best to try to include those in with the sale of the album so that they can personalize a little bit more. And as always, I'm going to frame this in just to the inside of this frame right here. I love the patina look on these frames. It's so pretty. And then I have this piece here. I think it's neutral enough that if somebody wants to personalize it, this is not going to interfere. Okay. So there we go. We are pretty much done. I could find something and slide it in here for the tuck, but right at the moment I'm not gonna waste time to do that. I will come in. I've got tons of cards, these cards that I can cut and I can put here in these tucks on both of sides of these. So it is time for us to put on the tape for the back. And we'll get it in our album. Oh, I just remembered. Let me get this framed in. Pardon the reach. Have this brass butterfly that I'm going to, as I have been, I've been putting them down here in this bottom corner so that it adds a little touch of elegance to the front. I'm using glossy accents. It will set up pretty quickly. Just going to apply pressure here for a minute. Put some caps on some bottles. And that should be pretty set now. All right, let's grab our book. See, I put the butterfly there, I put the oak leaf here, a butterfly here. Oh, I didn't put one in. Here's a pumpkin, and I have one left. And oh, that's right, I put it up here. The little birdie on the leaves carrying an oak leaf. I put it up there instead of down here, so that's fine. I didn't fail. All right, so this is going to come in here and sit like so. So let me slide this. I've been having pretty good luck. I'm going to take that off. I'm coming up with this edge to this edge, and I'm going to try and set it so that it's level top to bottom, and then I'll press that back strip. I'll go in and burnish here in just a second, but I want to peel these out. I think I will just make it through this signature. Okay. All right. Gosh, we've got one to go. I gotta stand up to do this. I got a new tool I got to share with you. Okay, there we go. We got her done. We got one to go, and I'm going to do a double waterfall on this side here. So we'll see you on that one. Until then, bye-bye.